Feet are a little chilly. It's amazing how much you can regulate. Good morning, Swamza. Top of the morning, gentle. Good morning, Will Bill Chill. I haven't said your name in a while. I kind of missed Will Bill Chill. Good morning, RJ. It's amazing how much you can regulate your heat or your temperature by popping on a pair of socks over your feet, or maybe throwing a hat on your head, especially if you're bald, or if you need to cool off. My ankle still hurts, by the way. Tried an ankle ace wrap last night. I don't know if it made things better or worse. But here I am. Hello, Carpentry. Hello, Joey. I still don't know if you're a man or a woman. If Joey C is Joyce or Joey or whatever. Hello, Roger. Oh, you all want to know how the chicken dish was? Well, I ate it cold. I ate the chicken dish in this very seat yesterday. It had been, I started working at a new restaurant for me back in my hometown in Naperville, Illinois. A restaurant by the name of Santo Cielo. And it's a really cool... got a really cool menu. It's got a beautiful views of Naperville and the surrounding area, and it's set up on the fifth floor of on the top of a hotel. And at the fifth floor in the suburbs, you're above anything else in the area, and you get to look down on the beautiful river walk. And there's big windows that can be opened and closed depending on the weather, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And it's kind of a modern Latin food, and they do a great, great job of preparing the food. And they do a great job of preparing the food. And I started there 3 or 4 days ago. I guess tonight will be my fourth shift. And a couple days ago, they gave me our chicken, I think it's called adobado, to take home. And I talked about not eating it yet yesterday, but one of my goals, because I set very lofty goals for myself, was to eat my chicken dish yesterday. So I did, and it was delicious. The chicken was great. Another new waitress last night said it was her favorite dish on the whole menu. For me, I'd probably, chicken would never be my favorite dish on the whole menu. It's just nothing too personal, unless maybe it was fried chicken. But I usually like red meat, and I tried a short rib served over a bed of gnocchi yesterday, and oh my gosh, it was so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The meat was so tender and fell apart with a fork, and I'll tell you what, I've never been a huge gnocchi fan. I don't know, I'm more of a thin pasta type guy, and gnocchi's kind of thicker and ball-like, so for some reason the consistency isn't my thing usually, but it was so good as well. This sauce that it served in was wonderful. So I'm excited about working there and getting to know the food a little better and enjoying I don't know, being back in Naperville. Are you looking over for all that, or do you? Lots of questions, and we haven't even done my intro, so we better get back to it. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is, what is it? It's Friday morning. Oh, I got my clock there. I don't have to grab my watch. It's 6:03 a.m. I believe it's August 9th. Happy Friday. This is a little show I've been doing for a while. It's a little show that's got a little momentum right now. Been bouncing around on other social media platforms, and Sometimes one social media platform will get a whole bunch of growth, and sometimes another will get a whole bunch of growth. But I don't know. I just keep going. And let's see. What was I saying? It's a show I enjoy a lot. And I go live most mornings and talk for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour usually. And always feels good for me, and kind of puts a smile on my face. And if me having a smile on my face helps others put a smile on their faces, that's got to be a good thing. I'm reading some of these questions. First of all, somebody asked me, hey, they have friends that were thinking of moving to Naperville. Is that a good place to live? They chose the West Loop instead. They're a married couple with no kids. Just wanted to touch on that. Hello, Mike. Who's Mike? I only know you as Maverick. But I'd say Naperville's a great place to live. But if you're young and newly married, I think living in the city is hard to beat. In the city of Chicago is hard to beat. And for those that don't know, the West Loop is area just on the other side. They have the Lake Michigan. Then they have the Loop. It's the downtown area. And there's an area called West Loop that got developed about 30 years ago. Used to be kind of a rougher area, if you will, but a lot of growth in the more outlying areas of the downtown. And the West Loop's a very cool place to be, with a lot of cool restaurants and bars, and they probably have a lot of good things that I haven't seen. But anyway, if you're a young married couple without kids, it would be hard to beat living in the city of Chicago. I think it'd be great. There's so much to do, so much to see, so much buzz and excitement. But if you're ready to have kids, or you're having kids, sometimes that buzz and excitement can be a little overwhelming. And I think the suburbs is a good place. And if you're going to pick a suburb, it'd be hard to pick a better one than Naperville. So those are my thoughts on that. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, somebody asked where my coffee cover was. I was eating my chicken dish. I've got to get to the coffee. I was eating my chicken dish yesterday, and I'd had a Starbucks water cup by my bedstand, and I was using the lid from the Starbucks water cup to cover my coffee and keep it warm. However, I was eating my chicken dish, and I had greasy fingers, and I'm staying in an extended stay America, and I had no napkins. So, yet I was thirsty because the chicken dish had a little bit of spice to it. So I'd reach over and grab my Starbucks cup and take swigs of water on it. But after that, I figured my fingers were greasy, my cup was now greasy. Maybe I should throw out the cup, which leaves me to no lid on my coffee, which leads me to saying, for those that have been watching a while, you know this isn't just a show about me talking. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And I had 2 goals yesterday. I mean, I had a lot of goals yesterday, but there were 2 goals that I talked about. One was eating the chicken dish. One was getting some more coffee. I wonder what I chose. I wonder where I chose it. Maybe that'll be incredibly great stories for you later in the show, but let's not delay, because I'm excited to have my first sip on this Friday morning. My hope is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Tell you what, it's still surprisingly hot. Most mornings since I moved into extended stay, which I have a story about. You'll see me starting my show as I prepare my coffee, and I'm pulling the cup out of the microwave. I believe that if you can heat up your cup, if you like your coffee hot and you want to keep it hot a little bit, and this is attention to detail, that you're not going to get anywhere else, I promise you. You pour a little water in your cup, you throw it in the microwave for 10 or 15 seconds, and the cup's hot and ready for its coffee. So let's have some more. I better keep drinking it quickly. What's the perfect coffee to water ratio? Oh no, RJ, I don't want to misexplain this at all. Perhaps you're confused on what I'm doing. RJ asked what the perfect water to coffee ratio was. Oh no. The only reason I'm putting water in the cup is because when I microwave it, the water will heat up and get boiling hot, because I don't put a whole lot. Sometimes I'll just have the edge wet, and then I pour the water out, and then I pour coffee in. So don't be confused. The only purpose of the water is to... I don't know. Okay, now RJ's asking a question about the perfect amount of coffee to put in the coffee strainer. I'm not... Sometimes I think I am, but sometimes I think I'm not, like a perfectionist or exact, or I don't measure a whole lot, and I don't even use a scoop. So I take my bag and kind of go, and go, that looks just right. I fill up my water all the way to the top, pour it in the back, and push that little magic button, and about 10 minutes later, got a nice hot pot of coffee. Oh, so good. It's the Sumatra, Starbucks. After work last night, I started working at a new restaurant this week. I've worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm still going to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get my training all taken care of, and hopefully learn the menu pretty... Okay. RJ wants to know, don't you want it to be the same each day for perfect taste? See, that's where RJ, who's an engineer, so we'll cut him some slack. He's an engineer, and I don't see eye to eye. He thinks you can be exact and perfect. Where I think part of perfection is experiencing new things a little bit and mixing it up a little bit. And sometimes, for instance, if I'm cooking a frozen pizza, because I do cook a frozen pizza pretty well, so I've heard, what was the best cup of coffee I've ever had? The first one every morning. The first one every morning. You know, I've never come across a cup later in the day that touches me and touches my soul like that first cup. Sometimes the second and third cup are pretty darn good. Sometimes, okay, I'll do my show early and I'll go, hey, I'm a waiter. I work nights. It's not even 7 in the morning yet. Had my coffee. I worked out yesterday. I've already been to the grocery store and I did my laundry. What the heck am I going to do? And I get a spot in bed. I climb under the covers and get myself some hot coffee and enjoy that. I'll tell you, that's a pretty nice cup of coffee as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think there is a perfect mix that I'd want the exact same every day. Because I know I'm drinking the Starbucks Sumatra. I think right now my favorite coffee is the pumpkin spice coffee by Starbucks. And honestly, it doesn't need to be by Starbucks because the Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin spice is really good, and the Market Pantry pumpkin spice is pretty good that they sell at Target. They're all good because the pumpkin spice is such a fun little fall flavor. Just a little bit of spice, a hint of the pumpkin. Looking forward to my first pumpkin pie of the year, I'll tell you that, with plenty of whipped cream. But anyway, even though I'm loving the pumpkin spice, and even though I had some pumpkin spice left in my kitchen, I went out yesterday and bought myself a bag of Sumatra just to mix it up a little bit. I also bought myself another bag of the pumpkin spice, just in case you don't believe me. I will show you. Why, yes. My first bag of pumpkin spice that I bought, I don't know, 4 days ago, and it's running a little low. I was worried about it all day. Then last night, I went to Super Target. The Super Target I used to work at. The Super Target I used to work at. And the only reason I own this red shirt is because I worked at that Super Target, and you got to wear red. But anyway, that's not that exciting of a story. And I bought the Sumatra. And knowing my pumpkin spice was running a little low, and knowing I didn't want to run out of pumpkin spice, I bought myself a whole new bag of pumpkin spice. So I am very well stocked on my coffee, given that I'm staying at an extended stay. Did I stroll down the cereal aisle? No, I didn't. I thought about it. I would have moonwalked anyway. While I worked at the Super Target, I think I probably was a little much for Super Target. I think the customers liked me. I know most of them did. They laughed. But anyway, I aspired. I think I was hard to manage, perhaps. There was a really nice woman that was my direct supervisor. But a couple times in frustration, she looked at me and goes, "You're so exhausting." I had a lot of enthusiasm. I had a lot of big ideas. And I was just a shelf stocker. I think, what did I call it? I don't know what I called it, but it's got a fancier name than shelf stocker. But I had a lot of big ideas. I wanted to reconfigure the shelving. I wanted to put speakers and dance lights in the cereal aisle so people knew they were coming to the coolest aisle in the store. I wanted to get people to pick up the garbage that was on the floor. And I wanted the shelves to look better. And I wanted the store to be better. And when I walked around and saw stuff not looking right, that was hard for me. And so I probably was hard to manage because I'm a dreamer, or have big ideas, or think I know what's right. Sometimes I think I do. And wanted things to be done a certain way. But I was low man on the totem pole. So anyway, I was there for 7 months. It was plenty of time to be at Super Target. It was more than enough time for me to work at Super Target. I think it was good for me. I think I was just coming out of a divorce. I was just leaving the real estate career. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up at all, or what was important. And I always liked the store, so I took the job. But I soon realized that no matter how many hours a week, there aren't enough hours in the week to work at a Super Target and to keep a roof over your head and to pay child support to 2 ex-wives. So that experience, which valuable for me and enjoyable and gives me things to laugh about today, was a learning experience. And yeah. Oh. But anyway, it's Friday morning. I was thinking about it as I was getting ready for work yesterday. It was Thursday night, and I was thinking where I was 1 week ago yesterday, or 1 week ago where I am right now. 1 week ago, I was just finished spending up 4 days at my sister's house in Roscoe, Illinois, and we had a little family get-together reunion type thing with all the cousins and my siblings and my dad, and it was really nice. But I was waking up. It was Friday morning. The week prior, I'd ridden my scooter across the country from Yellowstone back to the Chicago area. But anyway, it was Friday morning, and I was waking up in Roscoe, which is about 80 miles from where I'm at today and where I call home and where my children live. And I didn't know where I was going to stay. I didn't know what I was going to do, or I didn't know how life was going to be back here. And I was a little scared because there was a lot of unknowns. I knew I had a little bit of money in the bank, just a little, not a lot. And I had a vague plan of staying in a extended stay for a little bit of time while I got my feet under me, but I really didn't know where I was going to go from there or which one I was going to stay at. Or all I knew is Naperville was that way, and my scooter was there, so I got on my scooter, packed it up, and started riding towards Naperville. And about 2/3 of the way on my ride back home, I stopped at a McDonald's, had some lunch. By the way, they have a $5 menu that I would recommend. In this inflationary world of rapidly spiraling upward prices, they added a $5 menu, and you get a McChicken sandwich. You get a 3 or 4 chicken nuggets, which are smaller than they used to be, but it's still good because it was on the $5 menu. You get a small fries and a Coke. And with the Coke, you get the free refills. So for $5, you can get lunch at McDonald's, and I thought it was a heck of a deal. Yeah. RJ said, do you think my positive attitude helped the plan come to fruition? Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I don't think most people would do anything that I do. And I'm not suggesting that they do. Good morning, almost then. I'm not even suggesting that they do, because I think everyone has a place they expect it to be and a lane they want to stay in. And, my way I do things is my way I do things, and it might not be your way. And maybe a 9-to-5 job where you go to college, you take a job, you work your way up the corporate ladder, and you end up here, and you retire with a big 401k, and you watch your grass grow. I mean, might be somebody's dream. But for me, that wasn't really my dream, and it never really, just didn't seem to fit. Didn't seem to fit. I always had more volatile jobs. I was a stockbroker and made a ton of money and then lost a ton of money. And then I was kind of drifted around and was a realtor because I wanted to run my own business, and did that for a while, and had some great highs and lows in that as well. And here I am. I don't know. I like where I am. I feel good about where I am. I feel good about what I'm doing. But I don't think, what I do is what everybody should do. Outside of maybe drinking some coffee. So let's have some more. I was just about to tell a story. Before I do, hold on. Hang with me. Hang with me. Roger, one of my regular viewers, asked what type of mouthwash he saw in the back. It's just some store brand Listerine knockoff, Blue Mint. I'm totally okay with store brand. A lot of things. I think the quality on most things is just as good as the Listerine. I like the Listerine better than the Scope, if anybody cares. Cheryl, hold on, Cheryl. If anybody cares, because it gives that great burn. It really burns your mouth. And when you swish it around and you spit it out, I don't know. You really know if you're a bacteria in a mouth, you're not going to be happy to see the mouth's owner pouring some Listerine in their mouth, because it's not going to feel too good to you, but it feels so good to the teeth and gums. But anyway, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold too. So a week ago, I'm riding back towards Naperville. Didn't know where I was going to go, and stopped at a McDonald's. Did enough research while sitting on a McDonald's to determine that where you see me is where I wanted to go. It had the right location, reasonable price, and most importantly, right location. And it was a Friday morning, and I did the 2-hour scooter ride across Illinois, and pulled in and checked in and brought my stuff up here and looked around the room and said, it's not bad. It's not bad. But by this time it was early afternoon. I hadn't seen my kids. Well, I'd seen my kids a little bit that week, but not too recently. And I went over to see my kids. But anyway, the day went quickly, and I put my head on the pillow, and I got a good night's sleep. And I woke up Saturday morning, and I go, all right, Ken, this is the first day of the rest of my life. What do I do with it today? I go, I've got a roof over my head. That's good. I haven't always had a roof over my head, or at least known I'm going to have a roof over my head. Got that. Checked that box. How am I going to pay for this roof? How am I going to pay all my financial responsibilities, move forward in life? I might need a job. As much as I enjoy doing Coffee with Ken, and as excited as I am about the long-term potential that is Coffee with Ken, as my platforms grow every day and I get more and more viewers, I knew I needed to work. And I'd spent the previous 3 months or 2.5 months working as a waiter in Yellowstone. And my vague plan was to go to a few high-end restaurants in the Naperville area and walk in and say, hey, my name's Ken. I'm here to see if you're hiring for server. Is there a manager available? Oh, yeah, that was my pitch, give or take. And I think 4 out of the 5 restaurants I went in, I was able to speak to a manager. I think 3 of them said they were hiring. 2 didn't seem that anxious to hire. 1 did. 1 really needed somebody. And when you really need a job, you need to find somebody that really needs to hire. Or otherwise, you're going to be kind of put on the back burner till, I don't know, somebody leaves or goes to college or quits or retires or moves or whatever until that spot becomes available. And that time frame wasn't working with me. And met some people, and I was offered a job the next night and started training on that Tuesday. And I think God works in ways we don't understand. And the first restaurant I was hoping to work at wasn't hiring at this moment. And I was a little bummed at first because I really was thinking that's where I was going to be. But I kept walking down the street, and I said, hey, I've eaten at that restaurant once before. It was really cool. And I went up, and they were friendly, and came back later in the day and met with a different manager, or actually 2 different managers. And there was a chemistry between me and the atmosphere, and a chemistry between me and my hiring boss. I think we're both high-energy, smiley people. And she was asking me specifics about my experience. And then she goes, heck, I'm an energy person. I know you have good energy. And she's right. I do have good energy. But again, I'm upfront with any weakness I might have or any inadequacy. It's a place that sells a lot of alcohol. And she's a woman that loves tasting wine and sampling wines. And I told her I don't drink anymore. She thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, I got hired. I've worked in the last 7 days. 7 days ago, I wake up, I'm in Roscoe, Illinois. Today, I'm in a place, I don't want to call it home, but it's home for now, because home is where the heart is. And right now, it's home. But I've got a job. I've worked 3 days. Excuse me. I joined a gym, worked out twice. I'm working into a routine. I'm doing my Coffee with Ken show. I'm improving myself financially and in my relationship with a whole bunch of people. And every day I wake up, and although my mind might not be in a perfect spot at that moment, I think about things I'm grateful for and say a little prayer and know what I have to do on that day. And I'd say from where I was a week ago when I had no clue, heck, just having a job and starting it feels good. But also getting back into the gym and continuing to do my show and continuing to make my bed, and feels good. RJ asks, would I ever sample a wine and spit it out? My manager actually asked me that last night. And I said, I'd rather not. I'd rather not. I think it's just, for me, and I don't know if I was ever an alcoholic, but I did stop drinking 3 years ago because I had a problem with it, and I was drinking every day, and I'd wake up every day kind of feeling crappy and wondering, honestly, when I was going to go to lunch and start drinking again, or how long it was going to be till I had my first hit of marijuana. And I was doing it every day, and that was just dumb. And I wasn't proud of who I was or where I was going. And I think for me, I really like certain things a lot in life, and I really enjoy the taste of various alcohols, and I really enjoyed smoking marijuana. So much so that it became a problem, and I was doing it every day, all day. And I think for me, sampling wines, whether I spit it out or had a small sip or whatever, I'd rather not. It would just, I think for me, I'm proud of the fact that I don't drink. And I'd feel bad if I wouldn't feel bad. I mean, I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. But I think for me, sampling wines, even if I spat it out, would be opening Pandora's box, and it's a box I don't want to open. The Listerine I have behind me has alcohol in it. I'm not terrified of alcohol, and I'm not frightened to touch it or be around it at all, because I just don't want to drink. But when I'm swishing Listerine around in my mouth, I'm not trying to get a buzz. And if I'm but I think just sipping wine might make me a little bit too comfortable with the concept of sipping wine. And I think if I was sipping some wine, even for a taste, and even if I was spitting it out, because I'm pretty sure eventually I wouldn't spit it out, and I'd go, oh, wow, that tastes really good. I like the hint of strawberry you get in this wine or whatever. And maybe I'll have another glass, or maybe I'll have some back home. And I don't know. I'd rather not. So I think my boss is going to be cool with that. And I don't think I'm going to have any issues selling anything at that restaurant. The only way I'll have an issue at that restaurant is if I start drinking again and regretting it and feeling bad about it. But as far as talking to customers about various drink options, I don't think that'll be a problem for me at all. I tell you what, our sangrias come in these big glasses that look cold, and the color's perfect. And I must say, I would like to take a big swig of that sangria because I know how delicious it would be. And I think I can get a customer excited about a certain drink in my own way. And they serve these huge gin and tonics. I don't know exactly how strong they are, but they're big, and the presentation is beautiful, and the glass looks, they'd be pretty good too. I bet they would be pretty good too. RJ wants to know is, do they do double shifts? On the week, I haven't even worked there on the weekends yet. They do start early and run a little later on the weekends. It's not a real late restaurant, which is kind of cool. It's only open till 9. I was working in a restaurant in Yellowstone that served breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. And a lot of times we might work the lunch dinner shift, which was a 12-hour shift, go home, get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and have to be back for breakfast. And it just wasn't what I wanted to do long term. Yeah. And no, this place, as far as I know, I believe might be open for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. And, day or two a week, a day a week where I'm working 12 hours is fine. It's 12 hours where I'm making a lot of money. But if it's going to be a regular part of my schedule, working 12-hour days as a waiter and then having to get up the next morning to do breakfast, that's just not what I want to do. And it's what I was doing in Yellowstone. And I'm not trying to say woe is me, but I think we each need to take a look at our lives and realize all I was doing between shifts is trying to sleep and wait for my next shift. And this morning I wake up, I'm doing my show, I'm looking at the sun rising out at the window, I'm looking at the weather, realizing it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day here in Naperville, imagining what I can do and get done over the next several hours till I come back and get ready for work later today. And if I can work almost every night from 4 to 10, let's say, and cover my bills and accomplish what I want during the day, which means spending some time with my kids, doing my Coffee with Ken show, working out, running errands, doing the little odds and ends that take up life, that are life. I don't know, the thought of that makes me smile. So let's have a little more coffee. I had 2 dishes last night before I left. I left early. I wasn't complaining. For some reason, I needed to clock out a little earlier than I was expecting. But before I left, they brought me a seared bronzino fish, served with these delicious little potatoes covered over a slightly spicy red sauce. I forget the name of the red sauce, but it was delicious. And again, served the short rib with gnocchi, and that was incredible as well. And despite the fact that I had 2 entrees before I headed out, I'm sitting before you about 10, 11 hours later, and my tummy's rumbling. My tummy is rumbling. I think I put on a couple pounds over the last few weeks. I weighed myself the other day. I was 207. It's a good weight for me. But I think if I was 203 to 206 and lifting weights 2 or 3 times a week, I think I'll be feeling and looking really good. And I tell you what, I'm excited about that. It feels great to be back in the gym and working out and doing short little no stress workouts. I don't feel I need to be there for an hour and a half, but if I do 3 sets of 11, because I did sets of 11 last night because I wanted to make it a little harder, and I normally might do sets of 10 or 8 or what have you, but I added one of the bench press, the curls, the lat pulls, and do some core workout and do some stretch. And the workout might only take me 30 to 40 minutes or so. But if I do that 3 times a week, I'm going to be feeling really, really good. And there's a gym, a Planet Fitness, maybe less than a mile as the bird flies, but a 5-minute ride for me from where I'm staying now. Speaking of where I'm staying now, this isn't a forever place for me. Honestly, it's too expensive. It's meant you pay a little premium for the flexibility, and you pay a little premium because you have your TV and your utilities paid, but it's probably cost me about $2,000 a month. And at some point, I'm obviously going to want more and want a room for my kids, and I don't know, maybe a yard to mow or something like that. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, it's not horrible right now not having a yard to mow and having my cable taken care of and having my utility bills all taken care of. So maybe I'm going to live in extended stay forever. Maybe I'm going to become the spokesperson for Extended Stay America. I mean, I'm only on my 7th day. I haven't even paid for my 2nd week yet. And I'm already running the show. Hey, could we do this, this, and this? I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, what was I going? Oh, yeah, okay, I got a thought for you. Here's, a lot of people ask, because I've got 2 ex-wives and 4 beautiful children and a lot of financial responsibilities. And as I was riding around yesterday, doing what I needed to do, I was thinking about my financial situation and thinking, although I realize money doesn't buy happiness, I don't know. I feel like making a lot of it just for fun. I do. I feel like making a lot of money just for fun. And I'm going, all right, I'm staying in an extended stay. I'm eating this food. I'm here right now. I'm riding a scooter. I don't even own a car yet. I don't even own a car. Winter's coming in maybe 3 or 4 months. I'm probably going to need to get that resolved. So here's my situation. I have 2 ex-wives and 4 beautiful kids and a lot of financial responsibilities. And here is where I am at. I'd like a car. I'd like it to be nice. I like nice cars. I probably want a home, maybe a small little single family with a garage to park my nice car and to park my scooter. And I want to be able to do what I want without stressing about it, which means maybe taking my kids on a trip or buying nice gifts or, I don't know, taking care of those I love. So here's how the financial breakdown works. And this is a message to anybody out there that's twice divorced with 4 beautiful kids that they need to help support. I'm going to need 3 chunks of money. And to get what I want, I'm going to need to make one of those chunks of money cover everything I want. A nicer house, a nicer car, or any food I want, and trips and vacations. And one of those chunks of money, and this is just kind of the way it works out mathematically. If I think about it this, and courts have equations about how much money you need to send for a kid and how, whatever. But rather than think about all that and just wonder about all that, or have wives take me or me take wives to make child support adjustments or deal with all that yuckiness. If I just simplify whatever money I make into 1/3 for first wife, 1/3 for second wife and the kids, and then 1/3 for me, I think it'd be a lot more simple and a lot more easy and a lot more attainable than worrying about arguing over how much exactly money is owed or how much this costs or this or that or hey, you do this or hey, you're living like this or whatever. So look at myself as almost a money-making machine that is already allocated 1/3 of that money towards one wife and the 2 children, 1/3 of that money towards the second wife and those 2 children, and then 1/3 of that money covering my needs and wants and costs. And I think if I look at it like that and don't worry about the courts, don't worry about exactly what's right or what's fair or what's this or that, and get it caught up in all that yucky stuff, just look at it. If, let's say, I need $100,000 to live the life I want a year just for me, then I need to earn $300,000. And if I just think of it like that, I think it's easier for me because it's easy for my mind to get caught up in the arguments and the court and the judges and the saying, hey, Your Honor, I live in an extended stay and all that. And I just look at myself, and I'm not suggesting you do, but this is just the way I was thinking about it as I was riding around, as a money-making machine that has wants and costs and needs. But realizing that 2/3 of whatever money I make, and not being bitter about it. I mean, I hope both my ex-wives and I hope all my children have whatever they want and whatever they need. But if I look at myself as a money-making machine, and granted, right now I'm waiting tables and I'm doing a Coffee with Ken show that has very little revenue. But let's say I have bigger tastes and bigger wants and want to whatever, and I'm not even saying I do. But if I want to live the lifestyle of a millionaire, let's say, I would have to make $3 million a year. And if I look at things like that, okay, Roger said, as a dad, I just feel like I'm used for my Amex. And I understand that feeling. And I think a lot of divorced men feel that way. But I think if you flip that frame of mind around and go, all right, well, 2/3 of the money's gone. 2/3 of the money's gone, which leaves 1/3 for me, and 1/3 for my expenses, and 1/3 for the things I want, and not be bitter about that or going, hey, I'm just looked at for my Amex or all this other stuff or judges or courts or paperwork or this, because I promise if I can send each wife and the kids 1/3 of my money, they're going to be doing okay. Which leaves me 1/3 of the money. So I'm going to have to make that 1/3 enough for me to do okay, which will mean my kids will be doing okay, my ex-wives will be doing okay. And I know right now as a waiter and a content creator with very little current revenue, each third basket of money doesn't add up to a whole lot. But every dollar counts and everything means something. And if I go tonight and finish my training and start working next week and on my first day on the job make $300 in tips, I go, okay, well, that's 200 over there and 100 in this bucket. What can I do with that? That's not going to be quite enough. I'm going to need more. So I'm going to have to find other sources of revenue. And my point is, if I keep a positive attitude about it and accept that as it is and not worry every night about the stuff and the ugliness that comes with divorce, I think I'll be in a better place to provide for my kids and provide for myself. Because there's been some times over the last several years that it's been hard to do that. And I think a lot of it, I have no doubt and no limitation in my mind about my earning potential. I don't. None at all. None at all. But I think the biggest risk to that earning potential is the yuckiness of fighting and arguing and courts and bitterness and resentment. And if I'm in a place of bitterness and resentment and talking to the judge, I promise you, while I'm talking to the judge, I'm not making any money. Or if I'm fighting with an ex-wife, I'm not making any money. But if I kind of make a game of it and say, okay, well, 2/3 of any monies I make are already spent, and just write that off. And I might not be exactly 2/3, but I'm just saying, rather than think about, hey, is 31% or 28% or 35% the right number? What is it? That is all noise and all distraction. So if I look at a paycheck I get, and maybe I get a paycheck for $3,000, and instead of being bitter or angry or whatever, just send 1,000 here, 1,000 there, and keep 1,000 in my little vault for me. I think I'd have a lot more fun doing it. Because, again, I think our attitude is everything. And if we have a positive attitude, I think there's no limits to what we can accomplish. And, again, I believe a lot in my skill set and in all your skill sets. It's not just me. It's not like I think I'm super awesome. I just have a good attitude about it, I think. And I think if we all had a good attitude and found our strengths and spent more time focusing on our strengths and less time being bitter about our weaknesses, we could all do a lot better. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I see my potential, and I know I'm a good waiter, and I can work at a nice restaurant, and I can make $300 a night, let's say, in tips. And that'll be 100 here, 100 there, and 100 over here. Not enough. So let's make it more. How do I make it more? Well, I do Coffee with Ken show, and it's not all about the money, but this is just a way that frees me up to stop thinking about the courts and the fighting and the arguments and the struggles of all of us and make a game of it. And I'll just tell you what, life's a lot more fun if you make a game of it, and there's less fighting. There's less fighting. Because I'll tell you what, it feels good sending money off to ex-wife and having her say, hey, thanks for the child support. And I'll promise you, when she says that, I feel good. And when I feel good, I'm more capable of making the money and providing for my kids in a way I want. And I think if we can get a good vibe going and get my expectations in order, I think I'm going to have fun doing it. Less fighting is good. Oh, yeah, Lisa. I tell you what, when I get... yeah, nothing can ruin a day like a argument with an ex-wife. I mean, maybe an argument with a current wife could ruin your day that much. Arguments are just bad, and they're just negative, and they don't help anybody, So, yeah, I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'd just rather have fun with it. I don't have enough time. I'm 56. Did I tell you I'm 56? Let's have a little more coffee. But it's Friday morning. The sun is shining. I think it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Got my scooter parked out front. Not totally sure what my day entails. I've already bought my coffee. I don't think I need to get groceries. I'm not working till 4 o'clock. I worked out yesterday, so I don't need to go to the gym. But I have a day in front of me to be as to accomplish as much as I can and to move my Monopoly piece, which is a little bald man that looks like me in miniature. Move it around the board and roll the dice and roll a 7 and land on chance. I think if you start the game and you roll a 7, I think you land on chance, which is a bit of a bummer because you want to land on all the pieces you can because you want to buy as much property as you can. I don't know if that's a good lesson for life or not, but I'm ready to roll the dice and see where, thank you, Kimmy, see where I land during the day. And hopefully wherever I land, I have a smile. And hopefully there are cool opportunities for me and cool opportunities to improve myself, whether it's in the smallest possible way and just smile at a barista at Starbucks or walk on down to the Naperville Public Library and spend some quiet time reading the paper and kind of get my day going and enjoy the day and get ready for work and go into work and have a great attitude and learn more stuff to prepare me to be a better waiter next week. And excited about the day. Oh, I'm enjoying my Sumatra, by the way. But part of me's going, I wish my next cup was pumpkin spice. Oh, yeah, an easy solution would be to pour out the Sumatra I have left in the pot and make myself some pumpkin spice. But that doesn't seem like the way I'm going to play it. I don't like wasting things. And if I got a half a pot of delicious Sumatra coffee waiting for me, I think the coffee gods would appreciate me finishing it. And then if I want, because I'm an adult and I can, nobody's telling me I can't. Plus, I got a bag and a half of pumpkin spice. Curly Girl says they're getting that pumpkin spice today. Do yourself a favor and get that pumpkin spice today. RJ's a man that likes to know what he's getting. He's drinking his morning Joe because that's what he drinks. And he uses exact measurements because he's an engineer. And RJ, you do you. You do you. I think we all should. And me is excited about his day. And me is going to drink some coffee, maybe climb back into bed, watch CNBC for a little while, maybe edit some videos, and just, feel good and look forward to my day and know I'm going to be productive as heck and know I'm working a night shift. I tell you what, I really think working the night shift is cool. And again, I get home from work at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I wake up, it's 5:30 in the morning, and I do my Coffee with Ken video, and I post it on various social media platforms. And whether the revenue's there or not, it's still productivity, and it's still work, and it's still moving things forward, and it helps my spirits, and maybe it helps your spirits as well. But I think it's building something. And you keep building things, and you keep coming at your day with a good attitude and going into the gym for a workout and eating healthy and not drinking and building a social media platform, I will tell you what, takes a little while sometimes, but when you got momentum working for you, it's a powerful thing. So anyway, I want to thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. As you probably know, I've been bouncing back between Instagram and TikTok for my live videos. I go live most mornings, roughly whenever I wake up, somewhere between 5:30 and 7 in the morning. And like sharing my coffee. And if you don't follow me on TikTok, please do. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. And if you don't follow me on YouTube, please do, because I really appreciate it. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I want to thank you so much for joining me on this Friday morning. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Hope your week is going great. Hope your coffee is hot and plentiful. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.